Hi, I'm Suzie Dills, and I'm the director of the Hoover-Price Planetarium at the William McKinley Presidential Library and Museum, and welcome to Astro Adventures. Well, today I want to talk about the greatest celestial fireworks show in the sky coming up on August 12th. But first, let's take a look at the update on Comet Neowise. So beautiful Comet Neowise. We've been seeing it the last couple weeks in our evening sky. I hope some of you have had the chance to get out and see the comet. It's really a great view through binoculars, but if you're out in a darker sky area, you may have seen it with just your human eyes. And how do comets relate to meteor showers? We'll talk about that in a few minutes. So Comet Neowise was discovered back on March 27th of just this year using the Near-Earth Object Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer. Therefore, Neowise, the name. It has a very elliptical orbit, and on July 3rd, it made a very close approach to the Sun. And coming up on the 23rd of July, it's going to be in its closest position to our planet Earth. It's going to be about 64 million miles away from us. Just to give you an idea of the size of this comet, the nucleus of the comet is about 3 miles in diameter. By the way, a lot of people, you may have heard them refer to a comet as a dirty snowball. And it's traveling about 40 miles per second or 144,000 miles per hour. And get this one, it contains 13 million Olympic swimming pools of water. And it's composed half of water and half of dust. And because it's very elliptical orbit, this comet will not return to our skies for 6,800 years. So you have another week or so to get out there and check out this comet, because we're not going to see it again in our lifetime. And take a close look at this picture, because you're going to see the Comet Neowise has two tails. And that's very typical of just about every comet. So think about this. As a comet approaches the Sun, it warms up and material pulls away from the surface into that beautiful tail. So when they're in the far outer reaches of our solar system, they're just that dirty snowball looking object. But once again, as they approach the Sun, just what's happening with that interaction. So the tail gets pulled away and dust is pulled along with the gases. So you'll see that dust tail. It's that sweeping tail that we see in most comet images. So you can see that very distinct, thicker dust tail there. But do you notice above that, that thinner kind of a bluish color? That's an ion tail. And that's made up of ionized gas that's blown back by the solar wind. So this incredible photo by Cuyahoga Astronomical Association member Alan Studd, he was able to capture both of the tails of Comet Neowise in this image. That is really a spectacular image, but I wanted to share that because it really does capture that ion tail. And then just a repeat of that spectacular image by Frank Shoemaker, and then another one by Alan. You could see the reflection of the lake. Just beautiful in our evening sky. So let's talk about where the location is, so you can get out over the next week or so. Remember to grab your binoculars, try to get out to a darker sky area, but because it's so close to the Big Dipper, it's going to be easier to find. So notice the position as we go through July 14th through the 23rd, and then on the 23rd it's going to be just left of the Big Dipper Cup. So once again, it should be easier to locate, but you got to have those binoculars. Those will really help you out. So what's coming up as we continue to head through July? So on the left, you'll see the position through July 26th. and then on the right it'll take you through July 31st. So we still have time. You can still grab your binoculars and get out, because it really is something to see. So now we're going to talk about that celestial fireworks show. My favorite night of the year, the peak of the Perseid meteor shower. Just spectacular. So if you're a fan of shooting stars, that's the night you want to get out. And remember how I said, how do comets relate to meteor showers? So let's talk about that. Our meteor, the Perseid meteor shower, is courtesy of Comet Swift-Tuttle. So remember the pictures we had of Neowise earlier? This is a picture of Comet Swift-Tuttle. And this one was discovered back in 1862 by Lewis Swift and Horace Tuttle independently. So they weren't together when they discovered this. And this comet returns every 133 years. So certainly does not have such an elliptical orbit like Comet Neowise. So back in 1992, it was close to the sun, and our next return of this comet will be in 2125. But just to give you an idea of the size of this comet compared to Neowise, this comet has a 16-mile nucleus. So remember, they reside really far out there in our solar system, but come and visit us from time to time. And it's twice as large as the object that led to the demise of the dinosaurs. That's a big comet. So how does this create a meteor shower? Well, earlier we talked about how that dust gets pulled away along with the ice, the water. So what is happening when that comet is going through our solar system, that debris gets left behind from the tail, that dust, those particles get left behind. So look at that image on the left. Can you see the orbit of Comet Swift-Tuttle? Look how it comes into our inner solar system and it leaves behind all those particles. So when the Earth orbits the sun, we have to cross through that debris every year. So we know that there's a period of time that we are going to see a lot of shooting stars. And we cross through the densest part of that debris on August 12th. In the image up in the top right, just to give you an indication of when it's traveling, when we're traveling through that debris, we're actually facing the constellation Perseus. So we say that's where the meteors, the shooting stars, originate from, that radiant, that constellation, Perseus. And that's why we refer to them as the Perseid meteor shower. So if we're looking northeast, you can see the Big Dipper pattern, you can see the Little Dipper. Do you see the W shape for Queen Cassiopeia? And then you can see the Perseids, where they radiate from. And then on the right, you'll see the constellation pictures, so you can see our hero Perseus with the head of Medusa. So a lot of times I'll get my lawn chair, blanket, or just get nice and comfy, look up towards, find the Big Dipper, look for Cassiopeia, the W shape and the stars, kind of focus in on that area of the sky. Some people also say maybe face more towards the southeast with northeast over your shoulder. So you might want to just kind of change your angle of view, but I've had a lot of luck just looking up towards the northeast too. By the way, our constellation Perseus rises about 11 p.m. on August 12th. So this is what I would do around 9:30. You're going to grab that lawn chair, blanket, certainly snacks, and your family and friends. Maybe you've already scoped out a darker area to observe, because that's really going to give you the best show for the night. You're going to see about 50 to 75 shooting stars an hour. The darker the sky, the better. But if you just happen to be out in your backyard and you got some light pollution, try to shield yourself from those bright lights, and you could see up to about 20 per hour. Just a note though, we have the last quarter moon is rising around midnight, so that's going to cut down the number of shooting stars we'll see also. But the great thing about the Perseids is that debris field that's sitting out in our solar system is wide. So we may see shooting stars anytime between July 17th through August 26th. Certainly not going to see as many as the night of August 12th. That's our peak night. So the closer you are to August 12th, the more you will see. And I've been out looking at the Perseid meteor shower for the last, I would say, 40 years. And really just seeing the shooting star heading through the sky, that's really what got me hooked on astronomy. So be sure to get out there, have your place selected, and just get comfortable and patient. And also, if you're out there on the night of August 12th, we have those two gas giants. We talked about them all through the month of June and July. Are certainly easy to find because they just reached opposition. They're going to be present all night long. But you would have to be looking to the southeastern sky as the sun's going down. Brilliant Jupiter will catch your eye, and then just to the left of that, the dimmer golden color object is Saturn. So another treat as you sit there underneath the stars. And certainly here is the constellation pictures. You can imagine how they connected the stars long ago and formed these pictures and patterns. And once again, we have our star map available on the museum Facebook page, also on my website, starrytrails.com. Kind of helps you navigate around the constellations. And then maybe as a family, when you're sitting out there waiting to see some of the Perseids, you might want to get your checklist and check off some of the stars and constellations that you'll be able to see. But I want to thank you so much for coming along on this adventure. But make sure you get out on August 12th if it's clear. If not, try the 11th or the 13th. But I hope you get to wish upon a star. I'll see you next time.